Yeah, I'm not even going to do an intro. I'm just going to get right into the review and tell you that Black Myth Wukong is absolutely fantastic. I've been waiting years for it to finally release and was holding very high expectations for it based on the trailers they showed. But it has thankfully succeeded my expectations in every way, and I'm so happy to dive in and tell you guys all about it. I want to start the same way that I started off my Dark Souls review with the bosses. The bosses in this game are better than the ones in Dark Souls. Alright, that may sound a little blasphemous, but it is the truth. And the crazy thing is that there's over 90 bosses in the fucking game, right? There's over 90 bosses, and almost all of them are fun to fight. I mean, there's like a few stinkers, such as like Mother's Stones and the Bull Guard, but bosses like Yin Tiger, Black Loom, Tiger Vanguard, and Kang Jinlu are all fantastic fights, and a great thing about them is how all of them, they don't hold back. These bosses are tough. They'll spank your bottom if you aren't prepared. Yin Tiger sure gave me a bit of a slap in the face, and so did the Yellow Wind Sage, but the boss that I struggled with the most, by far, was Erlang Shang. I'm not going to try and spoil too much about the review, but Erlang Shang is a very important character to the game. He will fuck you up. He does not hold back, okay? That boss fight is a complete torture chamber. Now, moving past the bosses, I want to talk about the visuals. They're beautiful, right? Everyone knows this. I'm pretty sure most people saw the trailers and said the same thing that I did, where it was like, damn, this game looks so fucking good, dude. You know, each chapter has its own theme. You know, the desert area is great. There's a snowy area, the volcano area. There's one where you're traversing through like those real life mountains that look like they came straight out of the Avatar movies. I mean, the game is just so stunning to move through, and you just want to see more of it because it's all eye candy. Speaking of the movement, it's so fluid, so precise, and the combat is just so fun. It's so good, dude. Because you feel like a total badass when you pull off a full combo that deals a lot of damage. There's a few times where the combat doesn't function like you want it to, like when you use the thrust stance and you try to flurry them, but it just doesn't work. It just decides not to work, and then the boss fucking slams you, pegs your butthole. Overall, though, the combat is honestly one of the best parts of the game. The game science, they did a great job balancing it out, for the most part, and making you feel like a Giga Chad monkey. Now, a lot of people were saying that this game is going to be a Souls-like, but it's really not. It has some Souls-like elements, such as like difficult bosses and limited gourd uses, which are just another name for the flasks in Dark Souls. But I would say that the combat and progression system are similar to that of the new God of War games, or even Devil May Cry. It fits in line with a more typical ARPG, even though it's still incredibly unique, and slightly pushes itself away from the Souls-like format, which I honestly like, you know. Souls-likes are the flavor of the year genre for video games, and it's refreshing to see game science take a new step in the ARPG format. Before we move on to more positives, I want to cover one big negative I have about the game, and it's the only one. It doesn't have anything to do with the gameplay or the sometimes wonky hitboxes of certain bosses, but with the cutscenes and their technical issues. When I read some of the reviews of the fart-sniffing journalists who said the game had some technical issues, I thought they were lying just so that they could make the game look bad like they do with a lot of games. But there is a technical issue that I didn't see them cover. Sometimes when you're watching a cutscene that has a lot of things going on, the audio will lag, and at times it will fall behind the cutscene playing, leading to lips and movement not syncing up with the audio. It ruins the immersion and makes me want to immediately skip the scene because now it's fucked, right? Because you can't fix that. That really is the only problem I have with Black Myth Wukong, and I hope that game science patches it up soon so other people don't have to go through what I did with half of the cutscenes. Now I want to get it to two of my favorite things about the game that make me want to put it up there as probably the best game of the year. The first one is that you can respec all your XP and points for free. And what do I mean by that? You know, in Black Myth Wukong, whenever you level up, you gain points you can use on different skill trees that enhance your character's abilities. This lets you decide what build you want to use and whether or not you want to go for an offensive or defensive style of play. Normally in other games, you would have to find a certain item or use in-game currency to erase those points and use them again for different tree points. However, in this game, they let you do it for 100% free, which is so nice. This lets you experiment with what style of play and what kind of build you want to use without worrying about spending anything. The second thing I love about Black Myth Wukong is whenever you beat a chapter, you get these beautifully animated cutscenes that go over story elements of the game's inspiration from Journey to the West to what takes place currently within the game. I might show you a little bit of one of these cutscenes on screen, but if I decide not to, you're not missing anything. I mean, you are if you don't play the game, because I don't want to spoil anything, but I just don't want to show you most likely what will happen. Because you need to be able to experience it on your own. Alright, guys. I think it's about time I wrap up the review, From the way I've been coming my pants over it, you probably already know what I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it the game 10 stars, right? I think it absolutely deserves 10 stars. Game Science really, really, really did a great job making a beautiful, fantastic ARPG with Black Myth Wukong. And one more thing. I know it might be a little too early because it just came out, right? But right for now, I'm gonna give it the masterpiece title, the esteemed masterpiece title. Now, it will only stay if they fix the technical issues with the cutscenes. If they don't fix the technical issues with the cutscenes, I will remove it. The game will not have that masterpiece title. It will still have 10 stars, but it won't be a masterpiece, okay? Because those technical issues really, really ruin immersion, and it's not fun when you get them because you can't do anything about it. So I really hope that Game Science decides to really work hard and fix up those technical issues, and if they do, it will stay. Besides that, though, I would highly recommend any action fan go out and give Wukong a try. It's great. I 100% recommend it. I found the game to be extremely fun, as I've said. All right. It's great to talk with you guys again. I'll see you all later. You guys have a good day.